My name is Anthony Weiler, and I've coached hundreds of people in the land flipping space on getting their first deal under their belt and being able to grow and scale their land flipping business from there. So, what I have pulled up on my desktop are the most commonly asked seller questions. I have around over 20 on my screen here, but I'm going to break down probably the top 5 as I go through this list. And I'm going to start with number 1, which is how do I know you're legit and how do I know that you're not a scam? Now, believe it or not, this is the one that actually tripped me up that cost me one of my first deals. And this is definitely one of the most commonly asked seller questions. And it makes complete sense, right? People are sending out offers wanting to buy their land for like $60,000 or more or less. And it's an all cash offer with a quick close, a lot of promises in there. And if you're the seller, for example, obviously there's going to be some concern for you, I'm sure. It's a very reasonable question. And the way that I responded, I'll never forget. I remember saying, well, I have a website. You can take a look there. And he was like, okay, well, what the hell does that do for me? Anyone can build a website. And I just froze. I was like, well, yeah, that's a very fair response. I said, you can, like, we'll leverage a title company or a closing attorney that can handle the process. But they didn't even really know what that meant, right? And I didn't give them any information on how to leverage that. So again, if someone were to ask you like, hey, how do I know you're legit and how do I know that you're not a scam? One of the best ways to respond to that is, hey, that makes complete sense. It's a very reasonable question. I actually get asked that all the time, and I don't blame people. You're receiving offers all the time. So how this process works is like, so if you are accredited, just a little side note before I get into everything, if you are accredited by like the Better Business Bureau, that can definitely help. But start with leveraging like a local title company or closing attorney. So you could say, well, what we do is we actually leverage local title companies or closing attorneys in the immediate area close to you that are legally responsible to make sure that the ownership transfers over correctly and they handle all of the paperwork as well too. So just how you want to make sure that I'm not scamming you, I need to make sure that you're the actual owner as well too, that there's no liens or encumbrances involved. And what the title company or closing attorney does, they go back as far as like 20 years, sometimes even 100 years back to go back in the title to make sure there's no break of chain and make sure that there is no reasons for it not to be able to transfer over. And they are going to be the ones who will pay you out as well. Again, they are going to be your best point of contact moving forward. They handle all the paperwork. You could even close in person, receive a check in hand if you would like. Again, they are legally responsible to make sure everything transfers over properly. So just like how you want to make sure that I'm legit and a real person, I need to make sure the same thing for you, and the title company or closing attorney handles all of that. So again, that's a little wordy,